ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the RRTB Boxing Show. I'm your host, Mr.A. And today we're talking some boxing subjects, some subjects that made some nice headlines today. Manny Pacquiao being put as champion in recess. Bob Arum saying it's Spence don't want the fight. And Amanda Serrano looking to get a bout with Daniela Bermudez. Now, I know a lot of this traffic on my channel, this show, this very small show. But thank you guys who do follow it. I know a lot of it ain't following the women, just in general. But Daniela Bermudez, you know, she's been on the show. So if you've been watching the show and you've been supporting me and the show and your addiction in this boxing rehab for us junkies, you know we covered Daniela Bermudez quite a few times on here, about 4 times on this show. Her and Amanda Serrano, I never seen any of those girls really pick a style to back foot fight. So to see those two girls, who's gonna dominate? They each could throw a 3 to 5 piece easily with all different punches. Like I never given Serrano much credit because I said on the show I feel she's like Clarissa Shields, you know, good talent, just got too many damn vacant belts, you know. But I still thought she had a very good chance to beat Katie Taylor just with the body work. You know, I thought Katie Taylor greatest weapon is her greatest weakest link, I should say, in her. She expends so much energy on her beautiful offense, it tires her out somewhere in the fight. And I think with Amanda Serrano putting pressure, if she's not getting whooped up by that pressure, I mean, beautiful offense, it puts some tax and energy, kind of like Pursoon did on Taylor, but with better body work. I think Serrano could do that. A little off topic there, but Serrano and Bermudez, I hope that, like I said, DeBella's having a hard time. He said it's not even near to being done. But, you know, with Daniela going up second time, getting the IBF, what belt she goes? Did she go up from 118 to 122? I'm trying to think what was Acuna. Acuna was I think super bantam, because I know she beat Acuna for no fucking reason and gave the belt right. You know, like I'm gonna beat the legend and give the belt away. It's tight though. It's kind of tight. Beat the legend and just say fuck the belt. But she went up there again and got the belt. I think she went up to 120. So I'm very looking forward to that fight. I hope that fight gets done. And moving on to Bob Arum saying Earl Spence don't want the fight, makes me circle back to something I said about the Wilder and Fury contract. I don't think it was anything about a contract running out, just as I don't think it's anything about the fight not being able to be made. You know, whether it's negative or positive, Al Heyman, I believe, tells his fighters options and the best money for each option. I don't think he's gonna give a fuck what you choose. You know, that's why he gave you the option. I don't think, hey, you want this easy piece of shit? You want that fight? You want look at the shit we get shown on PBC. So do you think he gives a fuck what option the fighters choose? I don't. Considering what Danny and Andrew and many numerous fighters said, Heyman will give you choices and let you choose. Now, yes, there's some questionable things like, hey, why didn't Tank go to Farmer on DAZN, or why didn't so and so? Maybe Al Heyman was cool with it. Maybe that was Tank also. You know, like hey, you know, if Wilder says he turned down more money, you know, obviously Al Heyman was down for the fight. You know, he just said, hey, do this fight, do that fight. He sets up fights. He's not a management team. You know, he got him offers. Maybe he got him a $15 million upfront guarantee. He got him, and it was Wilder's team who turned that shit down. I'm thinking, you know, Al Heyman probably said, hey, these are some plans. But then you think, and like I said, if Spence doesn't want the fight, which is, especially with Bob saying it's Spence, Al said it's down for the fight. It drew me back to the Fury contract. That whole time, I think Al Heyman told Wilder, hey, you got your ass beat, man. If you want to save face, this is a legitimate way to save face. You got surgery, you know, you got this coronavirus thing, the contract can run out, and you can act like you don't know. And that way you save face, and you don't got to take another ass whooping. And there we go, Wilder's out of the contract. Al Heyman hooked him up, because if Al Heyman's down to make this Errol Spence fight and Terrence Crawford, why wouldn't he be down to make the Tyson Fury 3? Yeah, it may not make no money. I mean, as much money. But, of course, those fighters can be paid, of course. That's what they think they're going to be paid. But why wouldn't he? Like I said, he makes his fighters easy money. He makes his fighters hard money. You know, and he'll work with someone when it's fucking buku bucks to be made. You know, it's shown, especially with this evidence of saying by Bob. You know, Bob Aaron's been on the rant. I'm telling a lot of truth lately. You know, some bullshit Bob would say is mostly about his only promoting his own fighters stuff. But when it comes to just talking boxing shit, he kind of spits a lot of truth out. So when it says hey, Al Heyman wants to fight, he knows it's fucking a money fight. He know it's Spence. That makes you wonder, since it's publicly said, you know, Wilder came out and said AJ and them offered him more money to fight, but he didn't go that way. You can argue and say it's loyalty. You can argue that loyalty for him and Tyson Fury, or you could just go with the route I'm saying right here. You know, like, you know, because if that was a loyalty thing, but why he act like AJ was ducking this whole time? You know, so you can't say that. It's a hard thing to argue. And then you got Spence here saying, do this, get the belt, get that, get this. And now you got Bob Arum coming out and saying Spence don't want the fucking fight. Al Heyman was down. It's not happening. Nah. Are Wilder and Spence the biggest PBC duckers, you know? Like, and you say that because they attract the biggest headline fights, and they kind of not getting them. And it's coming out in the daylight, shining in the truth that it's been there. Al Heyman was kind of down for both fights as the fighters. So that's kind of weird. You could say you could argue he wasn't there for the Wilder fight, but how is those offers being met with Wilder? Are you trying to say Wilder didn't talk to Al Heyman, and Al Heyman's not going to say take that money? I know people say it's PBC, but there's a management team, and I don't think he's that dumb shit to take away that much money. He gives the people, like, if you want to go there, you know, you might lose. And when you come back here, I can't pay you what you think you're worth, because, you know, but anyway, moving on. Manny Pacquiao in recess, champion in recess. And we touched this about a midway of last season. You know, the future And then we talked about it recently, actually, too, with the future looks good with Ugas and Virgil Ortiz. Now, what's going to make this interesting is, as Ugas is bumped up to regular, from regular to now super, everyone's talking about Ugas and Spence, you know, or maybe Crawford should go get Spence, Ugas should go get Crawford, Ugas should go get Crawford. I think it's all good fights, but what I'm starting to think, and no one's kind of getting at, you know, this is 10 minutes old. Who knows if you guys will get to this point to hear what I'm saying. With Keith Thurman doing a lot of relevancy with his name during this internet stuff, and yes, Ugas is a champion, but it's not sexy like Spence and Ugas or Spence and Thurman. I'm saying I can see Thurman getting a belt, or at least trying to, with Ugas. Don't be surprised. I'm not gonna be surprised if we're gonna see Thurman and Ugas. You know, like everyone's thinking, oh, they're just gonna have Ugas get bumped up, have Spence get all 3 belts. If they wanna keep Spence, or Spence wants to stay away from Crawford, according to Aram, and he don't want to fight Thurman, but if PBC is a business, what's a better fight? You know, you can say whatever the hell you want to about Keith Thurman, how much time he's been away, blah blah blah. Spence Thurman still gets more attention than Spence Ugas. It's a history there. Both are good fights. I'm not going to shit on either of those fights. They both got different stylistic stories that'll be entertaining for us. So either or is a good fight, but Thurman and Spence has a lot more history to it. Thurman gets a lot of shit, but I still consider him a top welterweight, given his past, what he's done, what I've seen. You know, now how much time he spends from the ring. That sucks. You know, did he get rocked by Josecito Lopez? He did. But you know what? He fucking won, and hey, chalk it up and move on, right? He fucking dumb shit blow it against Manny Pacquiao? He did. But at the same time, when you spend a year off and you get a bounce back fight, hey, that's why you take that opponent for that bounce back fight, because it might be that type of incident. So that's why Josecito was there, to test him, to put a, you know, like, oh shit, now imagine if you just came back and fought somebody else, you might have get fucked up. So he's, you know, that was supposed to happen. You know, it doesn't usually happen in the comeback fights, but that's why the opponent's there. Manny, a legend, should have lost, but he won. So Thurman lost to a fucking legend and spends a lot of time away with injuries and shit. So he gets shitted on for that. But tell me you still won't want to see a Thurman and Ugas fight. And a Thurman with a belt versus Spence is suddenly a very sexy ass fight. You know, back when people wanted that fight, put Thurman with a belt again. Put Thurman with a belt again and tell me Spence Thurman is not a sexy ass fight. You know, people just put Thurman with a belt. Put Thurman with a belt, cause with Crawford and Spence at the situation they are, and Thurman having a belt, there's no way Thurman could get away for too long without fighting one of those guys. You know, because the boxing world is fed up, and if anything, with Crawford and Spence playing this side-to-side shit, Thurman's character is going to work against him.
You know, like, I ain't afraid to let it go. Or you already lost now. Continue to prove that shit and fight the best. You go fight one of these fucking champions. So if he gets a belt, he's gonna be forced. It's easy to force Thurman by the fans to go fight him, especially since he has that loss. Especially, you know, Crawford, business. But I'm telling you, I see Thurman and Ugas somehow starting to come. It's no coincidence that Thurman all of a sudden start popping up right now. The RRT Boxing Show. Thank you for your time and support.